Hey guys, welcome back. DK from Chesty Trains. Today from the comfort of my home and the kitchen table. Just as you all know, my layout, or maybe not know, my layout is partially dismantled as we had an emergency in our roof, and yeah, so it'll be dismantled for a while. I have to work on that. Yeah, so today, first of all, thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you everybody for liking the shorts I made, the last video I made. Thank you for subscribing, and leave me a comment if you need to know anything or if you have a question. And yeah, what's new? What's new today? Unboxing video. Lots of people do them. I just do this one because the Zoot Express locomotive from Portugal is not very common over here. I haven't seen many English videos on it or videos in the English language, and I thought I'd show you guys the model that I bought, and also I wanted to show the LS Model Vectron still that I bought in Italy, just because of the detail and kind of like it a little bit in comparison to the Roco models, as far as so you guys have an idea of what really differentiates the Roco and the LS models. Price wise, the LS models is a little bit more when you buy it brand new, but at the same time it's fully equipped. There's no more extra parts to put on or anything. Everything is attached already. So yeah, that hour that you spend on putting the windshield wipers on, the little detail parts onto the Roco, is it worth to pay a little extra, get the LS models one? On the other hand, the sound is the sound of the ESU decoder better than the Zemo? The sound project in that respect, not 100% sure. Anyways, let's have a look at that. Let's start with the unboxing of the Zoot Express locomotive and putting it onto the test stand, and so we can just have a quick look at the functions. Okay guys, here it is. Zoot Express Eurodual dual power locomotive. Comes in a real nice box, kind of like the Roco one. Here's the part number, item number. So I bought this model as a DCC or DC only model, analog. It's prepared with a speaker inside. It also has motorized fans up on top in the roof, like for the cooling of the diesel engines, and air intake, and that's already all pre-done. All you have to do is buy an ESU Lock Sound 5 or ESU Lock Pilot decoder, and you can plug and play, program it with a lock programmer from ESU, and you get a fantastic locomotive in DCC. So unboxing. So basically, just the lid comes off. You have instructions in here, several languages: German, English, French, Portuguese. I don't know what else is in here. Spanish, maybe. I'm not 100% sure. But anyway, so you get a whole bunch of instructions. You also get an explosion diagram. Very good, very well done. You can see everything on here, and you can also scan this barcode in order to get some more information. But everything is on here, everything is described. I know some German video said that the function mapping of the functions listed on here for the decoder when you buy the full DCC model isn't right. I can't confirm or deny that, because I bought the ESU Lock Sound decoder. I downloaded the ESU sound file from ESU from the website. I put it on the decoder, and the functions are exactly as it says here. So there's no difference. The only thing my model can't do, because it's not a full DCC model when I bought it, or MFX model, it cannot lift and lower the pantographs individually like motorized. You have to do it by hand. For me, that's not a gimmick. I'm willing to pay an extra, whatever, 70, 80, 100 euros for. So that was out of the question. And also I bought this locomotive from Modellbahn Shop Lippe. It's not advertising, it's just basically that's where it came from, because at the time this model was the best price at Modellbahn Shop Lippe in Germany. Shipping is 27 euros 50 for 1, 2, 3 locomotives at a time. Comes with FedEx, is here in Calgary, was in 10 days at the most, and it's always very well packaged, very quick delivery, so I can't complain. Anyways, this just to the function. So when you buy the DC model, you plug in the decoder and you program it with the ESU lock programmer, you will get all these functions as they are described here. Now the only change I made so far to the decoder, I like how it starts driving. I like how the locomotive slows down and brakes. I like all the sounds per se. The only thing I didn't like was the electric sound was set to, I think, 140 instead of 255. So I set it to max just so that it's a little bit louder. You can always press the sound fader once it's running on the track to not be annoying, but I just wanted a little bit more noise there. So anyways, that to that. Now, next thing. Then in this beautiful box you have the foam inlay up on top, and then you have the locomotive in one of those super nice plastic cases. You have the rest of the box here. I don't know if there's anything underneath. I don't think so. Nope, nothing underneath. So we can put all this back. Then the locomotive just slides out of here. We can put this in there and put this off to the side. Obviously the one side unlocks now. There's a little bag here with extra parts. So extra parts meaning there is the closed front what is it called, the plow basically. You have two hook and loop couplers. You have a couple extra buffers. I think there was 2 in here if I saw that right. Yeah, there's 2 extra buffers. And then you have the brake hoses and brake lines for the side. Let's say if you want to do side 1, you don't want to do the coupler on it because you'll always be pulling with locomotive side 2. Then you can just basically go by and fully equip the front side with these brake hoses, which are already, and I don't know if this can be seen, which are already colored. Like there's already yellow and red brake lines. So that to that, this comes open. There's a beautiful plastic sheet protecting this locomotive, and it sits snugly in this plastic case. So I'll take it out. So there, as you can see, this model has sprung buffers. It has very detailed front. You have very detailed side, and the roof is just beautiful. Just beautiful. The detail on this locomotive is just stunning. The printing, the lines, everything on it is just stunning. Windshield wipers, everything was attached already to this locomotive. Even the underside is very nicely detailed as far as the sides of the bogies goes, the sandboxes, all the hydraulic lines on the side, and all the air lines on the side that you need to have. Obviously the very bottom here is not detailed. It's where the drive is. You have these really long sand tubes coming down. They are very prone to braking, I would say. But even when you look here at this detail on these parts right here, like, and the printing on there and everything else, like, it's just plain stunning, don't you think? So that's the locomotive out of the box. So what I've done to the locomotive already is I jumped the gun and I put the decoder in, and in driver's side 1 I put a driver in. So no driver in this one normally, like from the factory you don't get a driver. That's just not part of whatever the price tag was now, 300 and some euros or something, or 200 something euros. But on the other hand, you know, it wasn't very difficult. The cap, the driver's cap, is just clipped into the housing. You'll see it all in the instructions. But it wasn't very difficult. Just plug and play, unclip it, cut the guy's legs off, glue them on the seat, and stick them in there. So yeah, so that's the locomotive. I will set up the test track and the roller stand, and then we're going to have a look at the functions. So here we have the Zoot Express BR159 dual power locomotive on the roller stand, and we're going to start with the headlights. Obviously, like always, it's the F0. Function. It has a high beam on F8. Actually, seems to be a little bit brighter too. It has cab lighting on F12, I believe, or F10. So the cab lighting comes on only on the driving side cab. What's really cool too is, and I don't know how well this can be seen here, the light in the engine compartment here comes on too. If I turn the cab lighting off, goes off. If I turn it on, turns on. So really cool. Has interior lighting in the engine compartment, but you can only see it through these two little grates. Now then, the other thing I said it had was these fans on the roof. Look at the detail on the roof. That's just ridiculous. So anyways, I can switch those fans on and off with function number 7. And they start running. They do run a little bit off, I think. And I'll have to check if there's something I can either lubricate or change. But again, it's one of those gimmicks. I don't know how much I will be using it as far as during operations goes. But look at this roof detail. Like, it's just stunning. And then of course, so now it's a dual power locomotive. So we have the functions here. So function 1 is a diesel engine. You can turn it on and off. Then F4 is the electric motor sound or motive power sound. In order to turn it on, you have to put up one of the pantographs front or back, whichever one. We can use a horn even when it's standing still here. It has 3 different horns. Very nice. Not too quiet, not too loud. That's a dual horn. It has a sanding feature. Right? It has a door slamming. It has a the taillights switchable. The red taillights. I don't know how well it's. Yeah, you can see them there. It has like brake squealing noise, switches. It has the rail clanking, like the rail interruption clanking. It has the curve turning. It has the that's like when you turn the functions on in the driving cab, it would make that sound apparently. It has a compressor which only comes on if the diesel is on. The sound for the pantograph. So on the other DCC models that come DCC right off the factory, the pantograph lifts, like goes up and lowers together with this function. And of course you need to up the pantograph in order to run on the electric motive power. It has a coupling noise and uncoupling. It has the Rangierfunk, the conductor's radio when they are shunting. There you go. So basically come up to a train and slowly he gives the instructions how far he's away. What else function? Nothing really. Let's listen to the diesel. Let's start the diesel. So obviously it's diesel electric power. So you always hear the electric traction motors sound at the same time as the diesels. But as you up the speed, the diesel changes too in noise or in RPM. So this is about half power now. The locomotive has given us 160 top speed, which I think is pretty much what it does within the scale speed. And we're going to slow her down. So now it's like basically idling. Speed up a little bit. Okay, so that's the diesel sound. Now let's turn the diesel off. It's got to go all the way off. Then pantograph up. And electric sound. And we're going to start driving. Same here, you can hear the different speed steps. And again, we go to about half the power. And we can go a little bit higher. See, it automatically reduces the noise as it's running. And we're slowing down to a stop. So that is that E159 DB logo. I decided, like, there's so many colorful locomotives of this kind. I decided on the plain DB one because I wanted the DB and it was always sold out right away. And then the Erfurter Bahn service, like a black and red one, I wanted. It's still not out. I reserved it for a while and it didn't come out now in the first or second quarter. So I said, you know what, enough waiting. I'm going to get the DB version. Maybe one day I'll find the other version from the Erfurter Bahn service. But even the, like on this locomotive, like the pantographs are so nice and so thin. The detail of all the parts, like by the pantograph, the isolators, the switches, the plug-in boxes, the distributors, like just unbelievable. Like the floor grating, like the anti-slip grating there printed on, like everywhere here too in between, like so that the personnel that has to do service on this doesn't slip and fall. Like the bogies, like there's those little tubes here for the sanding. Just beautiful. I think it's a really nice locomotive. I really like it. I can't wait to put like a train in behind with whatever 20 train cars. I'm not quite sure yet which train cars. It'll likely be on Hans's layout next time I'm there, but yeah, so that's it to this locomotive. If you have any questions, write your questions in the comments, please. I'll try to answer as good as I can. And it works terrific. What else can I say? I think that's everything I can tell you about this locomotive. The interior is really simple. 4 little clips hold this on. I put like wooden toothpicks in here. I slipped the top right off. You got to be a little bit careful. There's cables going to the cap on each end, which I just plugged in, just with little plugs. You can unplug them in order to remove the housing fully. Decoder just comes off, pulls off the 21 pin MTC, and then the ESU decoder plugs in. I got the lock sound DCC only because it's another 20-30 bucks less money than the one that has the what is it called, the Markley Motorola protocol as well, so the dual or triple protocol decoder. So the DCC only is a little bit less money. Does the same thing for me anyways, as I'm running DCC. Yeah, anything else you guys want to know? Questions about the locomotive? Ask away in the comments. And now let's have a look at the LS Models Vectron. Okay guys, here is the LS Models Vectron. Mitsui Rail Corporation Europe, I think it's called. Super nice detail, as you can see on the bottom here. Very detailed as far as the printing goes. I don't know how far I can zoom in without making it too fuzzy, but even all these little stickers, all these little levers on these boxes here, the little green dots, Jesus, I'm shaking. You know, around all the different openings here, the brake disc, the springs, just super detailed on these bogies too. There's a European Community sticker. I don't know if I can read this or not. But anyways, like it just continues on all around this locomotive. The detail is just phenomenal, and I don't know if I can see this right now, but we might have to go by and turn on the cab lighting. But even the interior of the cab is very, very detailed and kind of cool. Again, the locomotive obviously has light. Oh, wrong direction. Let's just turn it around. There you go. So three lights to the front and then two red lights to the back. Horn, whistle, different station announcement. So it's like your typical ESU sound. Very loud though, I gotta say. There was coupling. So, okay, yeah, the airlines are empty now, so now it's coupled up. Cab door, sanding. Another whistle. A horn. It has the interruption for the rail. It has the ZFA. It has another horn. Air compressor. Now the thing is here too, like the air compressor works without having the engine on. Same with the fans to cool the generators, right? There's a air drain. But let's go back now to the cab lighting. So there's the cab lighting. I don't know in how far we can look into the cab now to see in behind. But there you can maybe see up in the top there's like an emergency exit sign. And there's like a couple more details inside this cab. Yeah, you can even see the little white man on the green background there. Really, really cool how detailed the interior even is in this case. Like, I think it's just a stunning detail. When you look at the bottom here too, the brake lines, even the non-functioning or the non-original ones where you still can use this coupler pocket here, even they painted those half brake hoses or hydraulic lines, they still painted them red and yellow, so they give like a really good optic. It's just phenomenal. So let's just start the electric sound here. So we're going turning it on. And let's start driving. Nice and loud sound. So again, this is about half speed here now. I don't think we have to go any faster. The brake squealing is definitely right there. Oh, and one thing I forgot is I think the high beam. So again, here this locomotive too has a high beam, and very nicely how it switches the lights on the bottom and comes on and off. So yeah, so this is the Vectron from LS Models. Now let's put that next to a, oh yeah, and by the way, so this really, all the parts were on it. The only thing you can still change is the plow on the bottom here, and then take the coupling off and put the brake lines on that are full lengths to make it look like this side is original, like a locomotive would be in real life. So yeah, so that's that. And but let's just put this one next to a Roco model. Okay guys, here we have now the comparison between the Roco model and the LS model. It's kind of tough to tell. I should maybe have picked a different Vectron. Now this one is just the one I had on hand, because I just put the decoder in this one too. This one was one of those DCC ready models from Roco, where you could purchase the decoder after the fact, but also it was a really good deal. Had the speaker already in the and the buffer condensator, so that you can just plug and play again. Zemo decoder from Roco in there, and has very nice sound. Now yeah, so this is the thing on the Roco model. So you got to put these little handrails in, you got to put these two little plugins in, you got to put the windshield wipers on, you got to put the handrails on the side here. There's one there and there's one there. Now they are kind of locomotive color, so this one here on this side, and then of course you have to put on these brake lines on the bottom here, which would be the same then here. So basically you would have to take this out, the coupling pocket, you would have to put the different skirt on there, and then change the brake lines out and put the coupling imitation in the middle. But here, these little handrails on the side were already in there. These little handrails on the front of the cab right there, they were already mounted. The little plugins here were already mounted, and the windshield wipers were already mounted. Now, Roco has a driver in there from the factory, which LS Models doesn't. So again, the detail from the LS to the Roco, like we look at, those little triangles up on top here, the little antennas on the top here, or whatever they are, the pantographs over the electric equipment, when I go down the Roco one, even this grading, this bar grading up on top, these covers, really nicely done on the Roco. I go over to the LS models, and the pantograph, very similar. The grade is just ever so slightly better. The other detail, I don't think there is much difference to the Roco one, but when I look at this grate that's over top the opening there, the air vent, then it's just a little bit better detail on the LS models. It has a little bit more depth, so very well done. Other than that, though, really, you write me your thoughts in in the comments. I look at the cab, I look at the front, I look at the detail of the lights, and there is not much you can do better. Up on top on the buffers here in the middle, that step grade. Here we have the same thing. There's a little bit more detail maybe on top of the buffers there, but it's not like these ones are sprung buffers either. And sprung buffers honestly just tend to hook into stuff and get stuck going on tighter curves. The printing on both the Roco and the LS models, very, very nice, very, very detailed. Again, we saw on the the LS models one, the printing on the bottom, on the bogies on the side. Now when we go here to the Roco one, I would say the printing is just as detailed and fine. You know, when I look at these little signs here, the little green on those buoy or on those plugs there, or caps or covers, and then here on the bottom, those signs, there's a fire extinguisher sign. Like, holy Jesus, like, you know, if I didn't zoom in now with my phone, I probably would have never noticed that was all there. Very well done, very well done. The handlebars here on the door, the little, you know, electric lightning everywhere. Printed where it needs to be printed, and then here over top this cover, the printing is cut out. Like, man, like, guys, this is pretty stunning. I look at this detail up on front here on all these little things, like the rivets or bolts on the steps here and everything. Even like on top of the steps, like, yes, it's not as detailed as the one on the LS model here on top of the buffer, but it's still very, very detailed. You know, I mean, for those little differences, like, even look here inside the step, you have the little serration so that the guy doesn't slip. Holy Christ, guys, this is awesome. This is really, really awesome. This Roco model is really, really awesome. This Vectron from Roco, and that's why Roco has sold 100,000 plus of these, because they are just so awesome. That being said, let's push this one back in line here. Now, the only other thing I wanted to do is kind of show you guys. So if I take my Eurodual here, which is a 6-axis locomotive, and I take the Vectron and kind of line these up at the front, then you can tell there's quite the difference in lengths for these two. The Eurodual being a big locomotive, very long, 6-axle. So yeah, obviously all the details as far as motive power and stuff like that, in the diesel and the electric, just go online and look it up. I don't want to make this video unnecessarily long without or for no reason, for information that other people provided a million times. But just look at these two fronts. Aren't they awesome? Yeah. So well, guys, that's I think that's it. All I wanted to show you guys. I hope you enjoyed this little video, and come back, like and subscribe. Write me your comments in the comment section, so I will reply. Yeah, and then hopefully we can review some more stuff soon, and let these guys run and pull some trains on Hans's layout. Or maybe one day I will just put down a layout on the floor and run them on the floor, because I am just so wanting to run these. Yeah, thank you very much for tuning in, and see you next time. Bye-bye.